Hey there, it's vlogging time again. I am in a little town called Thane, Wyoming. It's in a place called Star Valley, and I am here for another rodeo. I have made a drive up from where I live, and I'm about to go check into my cabin. It is a darling little cabin, and at the place where I'm staying, they have like these individual cabins. Mine is called Alpine Meadows, and I thought maybe you'd care to go see it for the first time with me. So let's go take a look. Oh, no way! Not all those who wander are lost. Yay! Okay, at first glance, I really like this place. I've got to bring in my stuff from the car, but when I get settled, we're gonna do a Fairyloot unboxing because before I left home, I stopped by the post office and it was waiting for me. Okay, I think we're all settled in. I have set my camera on top of the microwave and we're gonna unbox a Fairyloot box right here in the little kitchen area. So this should be the April Fairyloot box. They're usually about a month behind on things, just how it goes. We got the tape cut and we will take a look here. Ooh. I always drop something. Okay, there is the spoiler card. And let's see what else we have. The card tells us that the theme is hexed hearts. These things, like, they dissolve in water just to like get rid of them. And the sink's right here, so I'm just gonna throw them in the sink. Okay, this chair that I'm sitting in is not comfortable, but I've already tested out the bed and that is pretty comfortable, so we're good. We just have to sit in a chair long enough to get through the unboxing. So let's jump right into the items. Oh, what does this say? Foxway soy candle, orange blossom, honey, jasmine, and musk. Ooh, jasmine's one of my favorite scents. Oh, I'm excited. Oh my gosh. What does that remind me of? Okay, so let's take a look at the actual candle. 300 Foxway, and then just a white wax thing, but the smell, the combination of those scent notes, there's something about that that reminds me of my grandmother, the one that's still living. I haven't seen her in a couple months. I miss her. All right, so far candle is the winner for favorite item. I mean, it's granted our first item, but you know, it could still win. Up next we have this Little Thieves coaster set designed by Julie Reinhardt. Wipe clean with a damp cloth. Oh, cleaning tips, always good. So it did come nicely packaged with plenty of foam, and we have two coasters. This one and this one. I've read Little Thieves, but it's been ages. I might need to go back and like look up a synopsis and remind myself of that book. Oh, are you ready to see something gorgeous? Holy cow. This is a reading journal. It says cover designed by @Saint Dree, interior and packaging designed by @Blanca Design. Let's see if I can get the outer little band thing off. Okay, let's look again. Look at this. Ah! Beautiful. The end papers have like cauldrons, broomsticks, candles. Oh my heavens. Look at this. Recipe for a perfect book. This or that. You choose like hardback, paperback, physical book, e-reader / audio. There's favorite genres, favorite authors. Holy cow, look at all of these things. Seasonal books to read, library card. Oh my gosh, I already want to sit down and fill this out. Anticipated releases, wish list, Fairyloot reading challenge. And then there's, okay, so I'll show you this one too. Fairyloot reading challenge, okay, and then they have a blank one here. You can put in another reading challenge. Oh, several for reading challenges. We've got habit trackers, book reports, which is review spaces. Let's see, calendars, book hauls. You know what I could do with this? This could be my reading bullet journal for the second half of the year. Because I usually fill up one every 6 months, which is probably going to be the case this year. I could use this instead of setting up a whole one by myself. And just add some stickers and stuff if I wanted to. I'll have to think about that, because I do love setting up the spreads and everything, but let's take a minute to look at the foiled ends, the silver foiled, and we do have a little ribbon bookmark peeking out at the bottom. I love this. Although part of me wishes, like, because I have some students that are going to be leaving middle school this year that have done above and beyond in terms of reading. Like, I wish I had several of these that I could give to those girls, because they would freak out. The Glittering Edge Overlays, designed by Makshin? There's the artist's name there. Okay, so this is probably going to be the book, like the featured book of the month here. So I'm not going to open this because I don't want to like give myself any hints as to what the book might be about. And if it turns out that it's like not that book, then we'll come back and like look more at them. We've got this package, foiled bookmarks, the Crimson Moth, designed by Masa Gallery. I don't know if you guys can hear like a slight noise in the background, but the heater in the cabin's going on. It is quite cold in Star Valley, and the cabin temperature was 65 when I got in here, so I cranked it up a bit because I'm a wimp. Ooh. Okay. Let's take a look. Do you see what's on her hand? And here's this one, and this one. I don't feel a newsletter in the pouch, and there wasn't one in the box. If they're going to pull an owl crate situation, I'm going to be irritated. Okay, let's not dwell on that for the moment, because look, we have sprayed edges for our cheeky sneak peek. Look at that. And it looks like it's upside down and backwards. Here it is, the Glittering Edge. More sprayed edges. Okay, gorgeous book. Oh, holy cow. Okay. So we have printing on the hardcover. Look at this. Haunted Mansion, anyone? I mean, there's no saying for sure it's haunted, but that's what my brain goes to. We have end paper art and more end paper art. These guys are up to something serious. We have the author signature. Shall we read the note from the author? Dear Fairyloot reader, I spent my childhood in small towns in Indiana in the Midwestern United States. For as long as I can remember, I was always a dreamer, making up stories in my head. I created characters whose lives were full of magic and danger and triumph over darkness. But my favorite story to tell myself was one of escape. More than anything, I wanted to leave my small town behind forever. Perhaps I'd live in an American city, I mused, or maybe I'd go to Europe or South America. I'd trade dense forests and rolling agricultural fields for bustling crowds and high-rises and adventures around every corner. Fast forward to my early 20s, and this dream became my reality. I lived in Minneapolis, Washington, D.C., and Buenos Aires. I visited London, Glasgow, Beijing, and New York. After I moved to Los Angeles, where I still live today, I would drive down palm line streets, and breathe in the ocean air. I had done it. I'd made a new life for myself. But as the years went by, I began to ache for those small Indiana towns that had raised me. It took me by surprise. After all, I thought it was my destiny to leave. But I missed the open roads and wide horizons. I missed the diners my family would frequent, tiny establishments with folding chairs and menus on printer paper. I missed the way my friends and I would huddle together against the cold as we walked from our cars to shopping malls and movie theaters. When the pandemic hit in 2020, the ache for the creature comforts of my childhood only intensified. I was still dreaming of an escape, but this time I wanted to go back home. Suddenly, this desire manifested in a completely unexpected way, an idea for a fantasy novel. Penny, Corey, and Alonzo appeared in a rush. I wrote furiously to uncover their secrets and loves and fears. All the longing I felt for my hometowns transformed into their longings for hope and acceptance in a place that didn't really understand them. But one thing I knew from the start, these three characters were from a small, unassuming town in Indiana. A town with magic just out of view, like the darkness beyond street lamps. Welcome to Idlewood, Indiana. I hope it brings you comfort and wonder. I also hope it creeps you out, but only a little. More than anything, I hope it offers you an escape. Sincerely, Alyssa Valaire. Okay, so we don't really know much about the story from that, other than it's set in Indiana and we have three characters. Alright, check this out. So we've got, looks like character profiles, Corey, Alonzo, and Penny. That's cool. The synopsis says, the locals of Idlewood whisper of a tragic love story that began a decades-long blood feud. For as long as anyone can remember, the DeLuca witches and the wealthy Berrien family have been sworn enemies, ever since the curse that changed their fates forever. Now, if a Berrien falls in love with you, you'll die. But when Penny Emberly's mother becomes the curse's latest victim, Penny must bring together two bitter rivals, Alonzo and Corey, in order to save her mom's life and stop the feud for good. But as the trio navigates unpredictable magic, a tangled web of their family histories, and complicated attractions, it becomes clear that there are more than dark secrets at play. Can Penny find a way to break the curse without losing her heart in the process? Intriguing. Now, I brought a couple books with me on this little trip. I am in the middle of a verse novel called Zane's Trace, and I'm also listening to Jane Steele on audiobook. I'm about 3/4 of the way through on that one. Loving that. What else? I have another book that I've been reading physically. Oh, The Umbrella Maker's Son, which is a middle grade one. I also started the Underwood tapes, and I got like 3 chapters in and stalled out. But I am going to come back to it. So that's a lot of books up in the air. Having said that, do I want to start reading this? Yes, I do. Okay, let's take a look at the tarot cards. That one's upside down. So that's Penny and Corey, and then Alonzo there. And it says, this month's tarot card set features Penny as the Page of Planets, Corey and Alonzo as the Knight of Planets. The characters are from the Glittering Edge. Okay, so here's what is on the Fairyloot website for May for the YA box. In this box, you'll find items inspired by Divine Rivals, Howl's Moving Castle, and the Book of the Month. We're thrilled to announce this box will include a book sleeve, a fun, relaxing hobby items, and stunning art overlays for the featured book. Okay, now I will say, after my complaining about the newsletter, it was really easy to find the Fairyloot information. So if they are going to no newsletters, I'm not going to be super upset about that, although it's much more convenient to have the physical thing in my hand. But whatever, it's not that big of a deal. The big problem that I had with Owlcrate when they started doing that is that they gave you this QR code, but it didn't work. And yeah, that's not cool. Okay, so I have a couple of hours before the rodeo starts. I'm super, super excited to see my family. So there's a bookstore near the fairgrounds, and there are also a couple of thrift stores, so I might go do a little shopping before the rodeo, or I might save that for tomorrow after the Saturday rodeo. We'll just see, but for now, I'm just going to go make some other plans, and we'll see you when I check in next, whenever that may be.